All right, so you landed that interview for newspaper editor,
Huge congrats.
and we're diving deep into RoleCatcher's insights to make sure you absolutely ace it.
They've got this killer career guide sample, interview questions, even AI tools. It's
It's like
amazing.
having a secret weapon, right? We'll break it all down, give you the strategies to really impress.
It's like they figured out what interviewers want and are giving you the cheat codes.
I love that cheat codes.
Yeah.
All right, so let's jump right in. First up, what is a newspaper editor? What do they actually do?
They're the ones who decide what stories get covered, who writes them, how it's all presented to the world.
So kind of like the gatekeepers of news.
Exactly. They're responsible for making sure everything is accurate, engaging, and meets those high journalistic standards.
And with all the changes in media these days, I bet it's a pretty demanding role.
You could say that. It's high pressure, high impact. They need to be on top of everything.
Okay, so that's the role. Now let's talk about how RoleCatcher can help you land it.
Think of it as your one-stop shop for everything job-related. They've got resources for finding the right role, crafting your application, and of course, nailing those interviews.
And the AI tools are what really sets them apart, right?
Absolutely. They can analyze job descriptions, tailor your responses. It's incredible.
Plus, they have this huge library of interview questions. Yeah. Like over 120,000.
It's mind-blowing. And they've handpicked 10 specifically for aspiring newspaper editors, which we're going to dissect today.
Love it. All right, let's dive into those questions. First up, what inspired you to pursue a career in journalism? Seems simple, but
Don't let it fool you. This is where they're looking for your passion, that genuine spark.
so more than just saying, I like to write. Right.
Way more. Think of a specific story, a moment that solidified your love for this field.
So like a childhood experience, a mentor, an article that moved you.
Exactly. Make
Yeah.
it personal. Let that enthusiasm shine through.
Paint them a picture with your words. I got it. Okay, next question. How do you stay on top of current events and trends in the industry? What are they really getting at here?
They want to know you're a news junkie, but a discerning one.
So not just passively scrolling through social media.
Definitely not. Mention specific publications you follow, both traditional and online blogs, podcasts. Show them you're plugged in.
Drop some names, prove you're in the know. Okay, this next one feels particularly relevant for an editor. How do you prioritize and manage your workload?
Deadlines, breaking news. It's a constant juggling act, right?
They want to know you can handle the heat.
Exactly. So share your system, whatever keeps you organized, to-do lists, apps, you name it.
But also that flexibility, right? Things change so quickly.
Adaptability is key. They might even follow up with something like, tell me about a time your schedule went haywire. What did you do?
Oh, that's a good one. Have a story ready that shows you can problem solve and stay calm under pressure.
Totally. Now let's get a little deeper. What do you think is the most important quality for a journalist to have?
Ooh, that's a good one. Integrity. Objectivity.
Mm.
A knack for storytelling.
All great answers, but it's about finding the quality that resonates most with you and explaining why.
So if I said curiosity, for example.
You'd need to connect it back to real-life experiences. Show, don't just tell.
Makes sense.
Yeah.
Okay, now for a potentially tricky one. How do you handle sensitive or controversial stories?
This is where they're testing your ability to navigate those ethical minefields.
So emphasizing fairness, accuracy, thorough research.
Exactly. Be prepared to discuss your approach to these topics, how you ensure balance and sensitivity.
It's also a great opportunity to highlight any experience with investigative journalism or stories that required extra ethical consideration.
Absolutely. Okay, moving on to question 6. How do you approach editing and giving feedback to writers?
Ah, the art of constructive criticism.
Precisely. They want to see your leadership style, your ability to nurture talent.
Because a good editor isn't a grammar tyrant. They're a guide, a mentor.
Exactly. Talk about how you give feedback. Clear, specific, actionable.
The kind that helps writers grow and improve.
And share a story about a time your feedback made a real difference. Maybe it helped a writer discover their strengths or improve their craft.
I love that. It ties back to that earlier question about a journalist's most important quality. If you highlighted curiosity, you could talk about how you encourage writers to dig deeper, ask tough questions.
Great point. Connecting those dots shows you're invested in helping writers develop their skills. Now let's shift gears a bit. Question 7 is, how do you ensure that your publication is meeting the needs and interests of its audience?
It's not just about what we think is interesting, right?
Yeah.
It's about the readers.
Exactly. Understanding your audience, the whole media landscape. That's key.
So how do we show them we get it?
This is where you bring in those analytics and audience research.
So like website traffic, social media engagement, reader surveys.
All of that. Share specific examples of how you've used data to make editorial decisions.
And with digital media being so huge, you could also talk about adapting content for different platforms.
Like creating shorter, more visual stuff for online audiences. That's smart.
Yeah.
Okay, moving on to a really important topic. How do you prioritize diversity and inclusion in your publication?
Making sure everyone feels represented both in the stories and the voices we're sharing.
Exactly. What initiatives have you implemented? Maybe a mentorship program for journalists from underrepresented backgrounds.
Or a style guide that's sensitive to inclusive language.
Perfect examples. Or maybe you've actively sought out stories that highlight the experiences of diverse communities.
Love it. All right, question 9. How have you adapted to changes in the industry over the years?
This one's all about showing you're flexible, willing to learn and embrace all the new stuff.
Because the media landscape is constantly evolving, right?
Constantly. So have you learned a new content management system?
Taken a course on data journalism.
That's a good one. Or maybe you've experimented with new storytelling formats like podcasts or interactive graphics.
It's all about showing you're not afraid to grow and adapt.
Right. And remember, even if you haven't been a newspaper editor before, you can use examples from other roles.
Like communication leadership, project management,
Hmm.
even customer service. Those all translate.
Absolutely. Okay, last question. How do you ensure that your publication maintains its integrity and credibility?
In this day and age, that's more important than ever.
Couldn't agree more. So talk about your process for fact-checking, verifying sources, correcting errors.
Transparency is key too. How do you handle corrections and make sure the publication is accountable?
All great points. Now, before we wrap up, I want to circle back to RoleCatcher's career guide for a second.
Oh yeah, it had some really good insights into the newspaper industry itself.
Like the 5 stages of a newspaper editor's career, from junior reporter all the way to executive editor.
Right. It's helpful to understand that trajectory and the potential for growth.
Even if you're applying for an entry-level position, mentioning that you're aware of this career path shows ambition.
Like you're in it for the long haul. Okay, so we've covered the questions, got some career insights, but what about those AI features we talked about earlier? How can they help us actually prepare for this interview? It all sounds almost too good to be true.
It is kind of like having a whole team of experts working behind the scenes to help you polish your application and really boost those interview skills.
Okay, I'm intrigued. Tell me more.
So let's start with the CV and resume builder. You just upload your existing CV, and the AI analyzes it side by side with that job description you're targeting.
So it's like it's comparing what you have to what they're looking for.
Exactly. It picks up on any missing skills, keywords, things that employers might be looking for.
That's so smart.
Yeah.
Like having a recruiter giving you personalized feedback.
It really is. Okay, but what about the interview itself? Can AI actually help with that too?
That's what I'm wondering.
Absolutely. RoleCatcher has this amazing AI-powered interview practice. It's basically like a mock interview with a personal coach.
Wait, so you record yourself answering questions?
Yeah, and then the AI analyzes your whole performance. It's pretty wild.
Hold on, it actually listens to you and gives feedback. What kind of stuff does it pick up on?
Everything. Your tone of voice, your pacing, how clear you are, even the content of your answers.
That's incredible.
Yeah.
So like it might suggest adjusting your tone to sound more confident.
Yep. Or recommend slowing down for clarity.
Wow. So it's not just what you say, but how you say it.
Exactly. And the feedback is super specific and actionable. It might even suggest restructuring your answers to be more concise and have more impact.
That is seriously impressive. Like having a secret weapon to help you refine your answers and build confidence before the real deal.
Exactly. And the best part, you can practice as many times as you need until you feel totally ready.
Okay, I am officially sold on this RoleCatcher AI. It's a game changer. So to our listener, getting ready for that big newspaper editor interview, what's the biggest takeaway here?
I think it's this. You have the power to shape your own success. You've got the insights, the strategies, even AI on your side. So go into that interview confident, prepared, and ready to show them your passion for journalism.
And remember, the newspaper industry is constantly changing. So be ready to talk about your vision for the future of news, how you'll engage readers, how you'll embrace innovation.
All great points. And don't forget the power of storytelling. Share your experiences, your aspirations, let your enthusiasm shine through.
Awesome advice. Thanks for diving deep with us today. To our listener, best of luck with your interview. We're excited to see where your journalism journey takes you.
You got this.